Hello, welcome to Tactical Breakers TV. I am Gio, one of the founders. I want to do a profile / little theory build of the current Shaddoll build I'm doing. For the last few months, I was playing Malice, and it was a really fun deck, but sometimes the bricks that you had, the engine couldn't play through both Lancia and a Charmy, as well as other things. It just became kind of tough, you know? And, like, there were a lot of games where people don't know how to play through it, and, like, the recursion's nice and everything, but it was just hard. Like, you couldn't do Lancia and Fuwa or Lancia and another hand trap. Like, Nib was never an issue, Valor, Imperm, Ashe, they weren't really ever issues, but if you don't draw the one of Called By, or if you don't draw the one of, you know, it was just tough to, like, navigate through things. So basically, I got tired of playing meta because you just get targeted. Everyone at the regional had Lancia sided, had Chaos Hunter, had the other Phantasme guy. Like, there's so much hate for Malice, right? So it was tough. I was like, after regional, I wanted to play something else. And I noticed that in the Rarity Collection, the Stampede one, they did the reprints of the Shaddoll cards, and all the QCRs are like $5, $7. I was like, yeah, why wouldn't I? So this is a build I've currently been testing for the last 2 weeks now. This seems like what I'm set on. I'm testing it on Master Duel and on Nexus, as well as testing it in person, just because I'm not going to locals as much because I'm trying to do other hobbies in the meantime. This is going to be my deck profile, just to kind of run through everything. So this is going to be the main deck. So for engine, we're doing the Invoked package. So we have 3 of the Magical Meltdowns, because this card's just really good at shutting off your opponent. When your first thing is Fusion Summon, if you summon Construct or something, you can dump. Then you can have like Chain 2, Chain 3, and they can't respond to it, which is really good, especially if you're using a negate. If you're going through Abcalone. So these are really good, plus not to mention they can't negate the activation, so they can't Ghost Spell it. And if they're dealing with something that negates an activation, like say Barone and Master Duel, they can't do that. So to go with that, we're also running 3 of the Alistair the Invokers. I am running 49 at the moment for more consistency with these cards, so I don't break as much, which is actually really nice. This card's really good just because of on the summon it adds your Invocation, which is really cool as a regular polymerization. The only thing I don't love about Invocation is that you can't use monsters on the field. You have to use monsters from your hand. So it's a regular polymerization, it's a searchable polymerization. And then if you fuse using your opponent's monster to banish this shuffles back into deck to add this back to hand, and you can just recycle. So I love that recursion. I also found out that this card is amazing during the battle phase when you have a Winda and your opponent's trying to swing over it with 3,000, and you just discard this, target your Winda, and your Winda's now like a 32 attack monster. So that's cool. I love these cards. So this little package is really, really nice. The QCRs, the Prismatic Ultimate, or whatever these are, they're amazing. It's all cheap. It's nice. Going into the Shaddoll package, we're going to be running the 3 Shaddoll Fusions. I was running 1 to 2. I am running Thrust in the deck, but if this is also a blind second build, by the way, so that probably makes more sense to this build. But you always want to see this plus names. So, you know, if you're opening this or this, you have a way to fuse. That's all that really matters. And this is just great with the Meltdown. Going for names, I was running the traditional 8, but I've bumped it up a little more. And then El Shaddoll Fusion and Shaddoll Schism for quick plays. Just really good. I don't think I'd cut either of these at all times. It's just, you can dump them. You can search it with Abcalone when it goes to grave, dump another name. So I think you need it. This is really good for recursion. And this is too good not to have a quick play spell during your opponent's turn, so you can fuse twice during their turn, which is great, especially if you're running more than 1 window. So for the names, I've doubled a lot of them. So there's 2 Squamata, 2 Beast. We have 2 Dragons. 2 Dragons, 1 Hedgehog. Running 2 Aerials because the Banish 3 is way too good. And then we're running, I guess we're running 2 Windas for now. And the 1 Genius. I am currently waiting on another Genius to come in the mail, so then I can just side out 1 Wendy and run 2 Genius, because I'd rather have the ability to negate a monster on the field or prevent the activation instead of 2 summons from deck. All this is good because this is dead and this is dead through draw, so these cards become a lot crazier through draw. So we're running 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 names. So we can see plenty of names. Seems pretty good. Dump to deck, draw if you need the draw, the summons, pop the back row, add to hand, banish from deck, which is powerful. So I wanted more than one, especially if I'm running 49 cards. And then this card's really crazy, just if you go into combos. All those are good. And we're going in on engine. Running 3 Fuwas, 2 of the Charmies, running 3 Drolls. These are all names that you can't really fuse with. If you're running the Winda package, you can fuse with these 2. If you're running the other one, the Anatolia or whatever, you can fuse with water. But this doesn't come up as often. It's more so just trying to stop your opponent from playing. And also, yeah, trying to draw more cards so you have more cards to play with. That's really more of it. This is just for Mitsurugi and whatever other deck loses to draw. Also, if your opponent forces you to go first, you just draw them. If you see it, that's crazy. And then cards we can fuse with is we're running 2 Ghost Ogres, 3 Effect Veilers, and 2 Nibiru's, because all these are light. And I feel like these do a lot more than these cards do. The Ghost Ogre denies the body. It's also just great for any spell and traps for the continuous or field spells that activate. The Effect Dealer, because we're going second anyways, and these cards won't do much during your turn anyways because you're playing with engine. So honestly, most of the time, I just end up sending Effect Dealer to grave to fuse. So not really worried about that. And then 2 Nibiru, because we want to draw into it with the Fuwa and the Perulia. It's also fusion material, so if your opponent doesn't use Nibiru, just Shaddoll fusion, send this to grave to make Construct. But yeah, it's good. You'll see the side deck later. I'm trying a little bit of both board breakers in that. More than on engine, we're running the 3 Super Polys because the Super Poly goes pretty crazy. It doesn't come up as often, but I get to fusion summon at least once per every match I do. I have to just learn it more often. Unfortunately, when you're discarding, you're not discarding for effect, so it doesn't trigger anything. But if you have any of these hand traps that are just dead, that's just free discard fodder anyways. So it's not really that bad. Running 2 thrusts, so you can search anything you need to get. Search targets other than Shaddoll Fusion, and Invocation would be your thrust, your talent, I mean. Your Foolish Burial. This because we're going second just to clear up back row. And then the 1 called by just to sack your opponent. So ideally here, there's more cards in the side deck that this goes with, so we'll see that in a second here. Then we will go to the extra deck monsters. So I'm waiting on a couple more names. Right now we have the 1 Gravity Controller. This dumps whatever name you need to get to graveyard. So if you make the Construct and dump the Gravity Controller, then you can add back the Schism. So the Gravity Controller. We're running the 1 Invoked Mechaba plus the Elysium. I've been testing some of these out. The Omni Negate's kind of better just because we have more light targets this time. I had an issue trying to fuse with Dark because a lot of opponents are running light monsters. They're running the Fiendsmith package or other names like Blue Eyes. So the Dark honestly doesn't come up as often, and it's kind of annoying, so we'll see. The Elysium, just because you want to Super Poly with the extra deck monster, and then you can get the Banish effect. Then we have another Super Poly target, the Chorozo. This card's amazing. It ends up just getting outed by like non-targeting bounces and pops and vanishes, so it's kind of annoying, but like it just saves your Winda. They have 2 of the Windas, so if you get Unicorn Ripped, it's not really the end of the world. The 1 Alcalon, just on summon negate, which is cool, and then when it goes to grave, you can add a card and then send a card. So this could add you something, and then you send something else to enter another board or something, so it's not really that bad, and it's just 2 monsters with 2 Shaddoll monsters with different names. The 2 Constructs, because the second one always comes up. Always. I only have 1 on Master Duel right now because I don't have enough UR, and it's really, really annoying, honestly. So, kind of missing it. Then we go over to the Super Poly targets. So we're running the Grura and the Mud Dragon. I've seen a lot of builds not run Mud Dragon, but it comes up often enough, honestly, so this is really good. The Grura, of course, you can always just send, once you attack, double piercing, goes to the graveyard, adds a card, so it's pretty good. This, I like the theory behind, because once your cards are kind of done, once you go into your construct, once this attacks and destroys, it does nothing on the field. So unless you're already linking it off into a gravity controller, you can also just have this set and then fusion summon into this for an on-field negate. So I really like those. Those are really cool. And then we're playing the link package of Dark, Selene, and Access Code. This has not resolved yet. The best this has done is I summon, I crash into a body, and then I add a name. That's really the best I've done. Every single deck I make this against, it's always light. So sometimes I'm considering playing light Charmer instead, but we'll see. I'll keep testing it. I hated this in Malice as well. Every time I use this, there was never a name engraved. Everything engraved is like earth, water, fire, anything but dark. Other than like a mirror match or a Mitsurugi Pure or a Malice build, like everything else isn't dark. So that's kind of annoying, but we'll see. Maybe it'll resolve. Then Selene, of course, because Selene can bring back your Winda or any of your other Shaddoll monsters that are spellcasters, so that card's actually pretty nice. And then you would go into your access code, banish these two, pop, get 3,000 OTK, maybe activate El Shaddoll Fusion during the battle phase, quick fuse. You know, this is mainly for like the D-barrier people, if anyone's running the D-barrier, so the link package kind of works, but in theory, I haven't actually been able to get that far, so we'll see. Maybe once there's a Dark Name Engrave, I can actually resolve that. Then we'll go to the side deck. Ancient Mew, all my tokens. So side deck, the theory behind this is a board breaker or a hand trap variant. So I'm trying a little bit of both just to see. I'm running the hand traps heavy in the main deck at the moment. So if it comes to it, you side the 3 Lancias for your Malice, for your Orcus, for the Crystron matchups, and maybe anything else, you know, the niche interactions with Prime Drill Beam or something, and just the 3 of. I was running a lot of 2 of hand traps. I know I'm still running 2 Ghost Ogres and 2 Nibs, but that's main deck's different. These I want to see them no matter what, so I run the 3. Running 3 of the Ghost Spells. Ghost Spells is too crazy. Negates Called By, negates a lot of the recursion of decks that add back or fusion summon from grave. Onto that, we're going on to 3 DD Crows. It could be Bestials, but the DD Crows just ability to prevent things from coming back. So prevent the Maiden, prevent the Azamina, Hollow Azamina, prevent anything that needs to come back to hand, like the Drill Beams and stuff like that, because it doesn't have to wait for your opponent control card. And that's my theory behind it. Because a lot of times Bestials are dead, so this will hit Memento and Malice and stuff like that. So those are all pretty good cards. Then we're going over to this tech, which I'm currently testing. We're having 3 Gordian Slicers. I'm waiting on my 3rd copy, so this is blank right now, but 3 Gordian Slicers. If you're going second and you're trying to draw and have draw power and you have cards that you don't really need, that you can just banish, say you draw into 2 Shaddoll Fusions, you can just banish 1 face down, or your extra deck. If you don't think you're going to make the Link 3, you can banish these 2. If Super Poly doesn't seem like it's going to be live, you can banish 1 Winda, 1 Construct, 2 of your Super Poly targets, and then like 2 of your Link packages or something, if you really need it, just depending on how it goes. So this would be cool, just return something. It can't be negated, so like they could Judgment it, but it won't do anything. So yeah, that's the theory behind it. We'll keep testing it out. I haven't gone to test this out in person yet, but I've been playing with it on Nexus, so it's been pretty cool. And then the 3 old school package now is the 2 Dark Rulers and the Evenly. I could play just the 1 Dark Ruler with the 2 Thrust packages, but neither of these cards are once per turn. And maybe if it's more of the element of surprise. I'd rather open one of these than to televise that I'm thrusting into one of these copies. So my idea is to make thrust work more for my fusion cards. So if I side 3 of these in, if I could see one of these, if it's, depending on what board I'm making, if I just want to negate everything on the field so I can play, break the board, and then deal with the recursion, or if I just want to rip away their resources, I might go this route. This is something that I learned when I was playing Branded. This sometimes does a lot more than an Effect Veiler, Nibiru, and Ash Blossom, but we'll see. It depends on the format. It depends on your locals too. I don't think too many people at my locals are playing cards that could out this. The Dark Ruler, best case scenario I think that could be outed is really like drill beam. So that's about it. But then even then, we'll see. You would know where the drill beam is in theory. You would use Shaddoll Fusion to send your Shaddoll Dragon to pop it, and I think that would take care of it. But we'll see. Everything's still kind of testing. This just seems like it's super fun because it's so many cards. It reminds me of my old branded ways. Sometimes you draw just one Shaddoll Fusion, which is nice because when you're running 40, you open too many Shaddoll Fusions, or you open all Shaddoll names with no fusions. There's a lot of issues that I've had with that. So I think this is what I'm going to be testing for a while. I might go to 50. I don't think I'll need to go to 60 cards. I'm still working on the extra deck because there's a lot of names that I'm waiting on to come in the mail. I'm waiting on the Shikanaga or something, the one that has like a monster negate or something. So we'll wait on that. Still testing the super poly targets. I was playing Starting Venom Dragon as well, but we'll see. And then this, we'll see how great this is, because if this doesn't resolve, I'm just going to cut it. But then I can't play through T-Barrier, so that's the issue there. And that's it for my Shaddoll package. If you want to see a combo or test hand videos, let me know. I would love to do some of those. This is a channel that my friend Sam and I made. This is dedicated to board breaking. We're trying to break the meta, playing some of the rogue decks. I've also been looking at Gem Knight, so maybe I'll play some Gem Knight too. But at the moment, I'm doing this. There's a lot of engines that we're trying to test out. We're going to test out the Odeon. I'm trying to make something with Primite, make something fun. I've been wanting to play Melfi's, wanted to play Labyrinth. So there's a lot of decks that I want to play, and I want to test everything out. But I have a regional coming up in like a little over a month, I believe. So whatever deck I decide to build and test by then, which at the moment is this, so maybe I can take Shaddolls to the next regional, which would have been more fun because people will expect a lot less. It's so much fun to super poly a board away and your opponent's kind of like they can't do anything. So that's a lot of fun. Subscribe to this channel. We're gonna try to both do different content. So Sam uploads something, I upload something, so we can keep content coming out more often. But I was really, really excited to play this. This deck's been a lot of fun, honestly. I make some really, really interesting boards, and I can't wait to keep playing this at locals. I also want to start recording some of the gameplays just so I could show some of the combos, break some of the boards, analyze some of the gameplays. I love learning from my mistakes, so I can like learn how to play better the next time. That's like one of my biggest things. Because if you don't learn from your mistakes, then you just make the same mistakes over and over again, and that's not really ideal for Yu-Gi-Oh! So give us a like, please. Save this video. Comment down below if you want to see combos or if there's any deck profiles you'd like to see. I believe Sam's testing Memento and Chris on another deck, so he's going to have a lot of crazy content. I'm going to try to stick to one deck for a little bit, just kind of play it out, see how it goes, and then go from there. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.